Drip hop, born from the crack pot. This is for the infants, the haves and the have-nots. Meet us at the trap spot so you could be an astronaut. This will be the biggest leap that you ever hop. Seems niggas are flying, the junkies are high. And in my line of work, that goes side by side. But when the worlds collide, they waste the whole damn product. Here's the adrenaline when the block gets shot up. Take it to the vein. Matter of fact, take one shot to the brain. One dose or two dose Novocaine. Red dot to a nigga eye like Kane. No, it's just another place you can't go. Barricade, get the gauge, re-engage. Now I leave a gauge size hole. Nigga, play your role, put it in your back pocket. Before they drop sheets, I'ma drop knowledge. Stop it, now you gotta answer to the cosmic. Whatever they rock with is something non-toxic. Chop it, mix the green juice with the CrossFit. Better get my weight up, you other niggas lost it. Drip hop, born on the D block. My only goal and purpose is to come and make the streets hot. The free spot when I dine at a Greek spot. The geeks plot intertwined with a freak thought. A geek starts, that's a square mentality. He shooting VR, we got guns in reality. You act so hard, you should thank the academy. It comes full circle, but it isn't fatality. Like, whoa, who the fuck is stepping into my crew? I'm like, whoa. Niggas don't know about shit, I raise roofs. Niggas wanna copy, but they still uncool. This is my throne, my chair, my stool. Now you gotta answer to the cosmic. Whatever they rock with is something non-toxic. Chop it, mix the green juice with the CrossFit. Better get my weight up, you other niggas lost it.
Stop it, now you gotta answer to the cosmic. The non-toxic.
Chop it.
Cosmic dust activity.
Stop me, you? Any unusual experiment can produce unusual results. That's why I chose this island. Isolated. Miles of open water in any direction. We did everything in the world to exterminate them, but no apparent luck.
Hey. Yeah. You know what? I like the players. No diggity, no doubt. Play on, play it. Play on, play it. Yo, Dre, drop the verse.
It's going down, fade to Black Street. The homies got at me, collab creations, bump like agony, no doubt. I put it down, never slouch. As long as my credit can vouch, a dog couldn't catch me. Tell me who could stop with Dre making moves, attracting honeys like a magnet, giving them orgasms with my mellow accent. Still moving this flavor with the homies Black Street and Teddy, the original rough shakers.
Shorty get down, good lord. Baby got 'em open all over town. Strictly bitch, you don't play around. Cover much grounds, got game by the pound. Getting paid is a forte, each and every day. True play away. I can't get her out of my mind.
Wow.
I think about the girl all the time.
Wow, wow.
The east side to the west side, pushing fat rides, it's no surprise. She got tricks in the stash, stacking up the cash, fast when it comes to the gas. By no means average, it's on when she's got to have it. Baby, you're a perfect 10, I wanna get in. Can I get down so I can win? I like the way you work it, no diggity. I got to bag it up.
Bag it up.
I like the way you work it, no diggity. I got to bag it up.
Bag it up, girl.
I like the way you work it, no diggity. I got to bag it up.
Bag it up.
I like the way you work it, no diggity. I got to bag it up.
She's got class and style, street knowledge by the pound. Baby never act wild, very low key on the profile. Catching feelings is a no, let me tell you how it goes. Curves the word, spins the verb, lovers it curves so freak what you heard. Rolling with the fatness, you don't even know what the half is. You got to pay to play, just for shorty bang bang to look your way. I like the way you work it. Trump tight all day, every day. You're blowing my mind, maybe in time, baby, I can get you in my ride.
I like the way you work it. No diggity. I got to bag it up.
Bag it up.
I like the way you work it. No diggity. I got to bag it up. I like the way you work it. No diggity. I got to bag it up.
Bag it up, babe.
I like the way you work it. No diggity. I got to bag it up. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Hey yo, that girl looks good. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Play on, play on, play on. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. You're my kind of girl. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Hey yo.
Cause that's my peeps and we roll deep, flying first class from New York City to Blackstreet. What you know about me? Now don't thing. Cartier wooded frame sported by my shorty. As for me, icy gleaming pinky diamond ring. We bees the baddest click up on this scene. Ain't you getting bored with these fake broads? High shows improves, no doubt. I've been thinking so. Please excuse if I come across rude, that's just me. And that's how a player's got to be. Stay kicking game with a capital G. Ask the peoples on my block, I'm as real as can be. Word is born. Faking moves never been my thing. So Teddy, pass the word to your nigga Chauncey. I'll be sending a call, let's say around 3:30. Queen Pen and Black Street.
I like the way you work it. No diggity. I got to bag it up. I like the way you work it. No diggity. I got to bag it up. I like the way you work it. No diggity. I got to bag it up. I like the way you work it. No diggity. I got to bag it up. Yeah. Come on. Becky in full effect. Lisa in full effect. Nikki in full effect. Tamika in full effect. Lays in full effect. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. Yeah. Play on, play it. Play on, play it. Play on, play on, play on, play on. Cause I like it. No diggity, no doubt. Yeah. Blackstreet Productions. We out, ride. We out, we out.
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper, underground methods. Top-notch hoes, get the most, not the lesser. Straight terror, product of your errors. Pushing country, baby, got that product you can measure. Trendsetter, the one who get the weather. Swerving while I'm bumping Project Petter. Yeah, rolling through the city with the big dogs. Fuck the laws, loyal with me, we ain't got a cow. Zelly on silent, put the product in the pillar loud. That's how you make the money pop for everyone involved. And if you don't deserve a cut, then we gon' cut them off. My barber got me looking proper every single time. Fresh fade, getting fitted on that top grade. No, you ain't walking out alive, smoking what we on. And you know I got it poured for the ones who gone. R.I.P.'s in your memory, we carry on. When I die, they will not bury me, not what I want. Burn my body, pour my ashes in the river, y'all. That's how we knowin' that the flow about to carry on. See, immortality's a fallacy, I prove 'em wrong. The Southern family gon' carry me the way beyond. Anything you've ever known, anything you've done. They ask me how you get like this, how you live like this. Why you worry about it, ho? Get up on my dick, get up out the way. What you think this is? And we ain't worried about it, ho. Why she skirt the whip? They ask me how you get like this, how you live like this. Why you worry about it, ho? Get up on my dick, get up out the way. What you think this is? And we ain't worried about you, ho. Watch me skirt the whip, yeah, swerving. Moving to the money like it's urgent. Hands on God, so I'm in it like a surgeon. The skin color like the bourbon. Worldwide sign and we face closed curtains. I hear you, nothing ever certain. Only thing that's promised is that promises are broken. Yeah, so we finding ways to cope there. Only thing I'm breaking is her back with emotions. Woo! Yeah, baby girl bring out the goodie. Snuck it in inside the hoodie. Now we turning out your buggy. Yeah, it's cool, I used to fight the bullies. Now I'm fighting with the law. I guess some things don't leave me fully. They try and push me, then they try and pull me. Better when I
my mind, we gon' run it up.
Oh, that's so far.
Everyone go red. Nice catch. Nice throw. Let's go, team.
Hell yeah.
Got it. Holy. No way. That's a so nice. Got it. Scoop.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else, and welcome to another and actually the final installment of the Montgomery Memorial Tribes League. We are sliding in this evening with the bronze medal match. So we have Abyss matching up against Knightron, finally able to get things scheduled and fired up. Joining me tonight, one of my regular co-casters, Matt, and dropping in with us. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my friend. How are you?
I'm here. You know, I'm ready for a little bit of T3. It's been a little while. Been on some other games for a little bit, but we're jumping back into this one.
Oh, yeah.
Should be pretty fun. Coming in here, you know, both the teams that couldn't quite get over the hump in the semifinal matches, fighting for the bronze medal here. So we're waiting for them to get fired up and get into the lobbies.
Oh yeah, should be a very, very good game. I know, like, obviously we didn't play them much, but like Abyss, like before, like we stopped playing, like they were really good. Like second Songsteal were outside of Jagle and Stork. I think those two were by far like the best duo defense like I've ever played against. So they were really good. So
an excellent pairing for sure. You mentioned second Songsteal, very notably for tonight. Songsteal will be playing with COVID. So Songsteal staring down the barrel of maybe an MJ flu game here. Maybe that come out of him. But Song is in the early stages of COVID, so he's roughing this one out, trying to gut through it for his team. And on the other side, Reddish Blue will be absent for Knightron. So no turret sniper for the Knightron side of things. Just couldn't get the scheduling matched up with all the players. So a couple of big swings either way for both teams.
I'd say Reddish is, outside of Trubba, I'd say Reddish is I think, in my opinion, probably the second best player on Knightron. So see how, like, who is stepping in for Reddish?
I don't know. I did not get a sub list from Knightron for this one, so we'll have to be surprised by the incoming player there. I'm not sure. I know they have a couple of guys that they can swing in. You know, HotRodRe, APC. I've seen from time to time.
Chicken and waffles.
Maybe chicken and waffles. A return from the ashes for chicken.
Come back. Yeah, maybe.
It could definitely be a possibility for him. We do have the maps already decided, so we can talk about that. You can see Dangerous Crossing there. That will be map 1 that these teams have picked up. Abyss banned out Dry Dock. You know, pretty much 1 out of 2 teams is going to ban Dry Dock every time. You're not really going to see that map a whole lot in T3 competitive stuff. Knightron, though, banning away Hollow. So maybe saw a little bit of those lineups from Mikesters and got a little not so excited to play there for the Knightron team. But we're staring at a quad box here, still waiting for Rince to fire his stream up. I heard
It's interesting. Sorry, go on, son.
I heard through the grapevine that Rincewind may have broken his mouse and is currently looking for
It's not real, man.
a replacement
Seriously?
mouse. This is
It's
what
not
I am
real.
hearing.
Oh
So
my God.
unsure what exactly we're gonna be dealing with there. Clout, a little more info. It says it wireless mouse that won't charge. Pretty
Plug it in, no?
yeah, just plug it in. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what I'd be doing. You know, get your old bungee out and
Yeah.
throw it on there.
I was gonna say it's interesting that Abyss banned Drydock. Remind me, Sin, that's the only map we've ever lost, right? In T3 is against Abyss on Drydock, right?
We lost
When we
to
played.
Abyss on DX.
Oh, was it DX?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it was DX. All right. Okay.
We lost
Got it.
them on DX in a scrim. Yeah, that was
Oh,
was a bit of an eye opener for T plus
Yeah.
at that point.
for sure. No, Abyss are really strong, man. So I'm really interested to see how they play. For sure.
They can be pretty tough to go against. Definitely, we're looking at only them in the lobby at the moment. 6 strong so far. So we'll have to see where Knightron filters in here, or if we're gonna
Yeah.
see a lobby remake. I see some players dropping out, so I don't know exactly what they're doing with the lobbies here. But after we get off of DX, we're guaranteed at least 3 maps tonight. So we're looking at DX. Map 2 will be on to Rain Dance, Torment for the 3rd map. And then if we need some deciders, if we get some back and forth, we will have Wave Mist and Katabatic as our final if we go all the way through this best of 5. What do you think about, let's just talk about DX really quick. How do you feel about, both of the teams coming into DX? Kind of not really a warm-up map. You'd hope they'd been playing a little bit today.
Yeah.
But the first map really just a Slayers map.
I think it's gonna be like a slugfest personally, because Knightron obviously have a lot of fraggers on the offense side, but then on the defense side of Abyss, they obviously have second Songsteal, start COVID Songsteal, but I honestly I think it's gonna be a back and forth of like walking. I do think, in my opinion, Knightron do have the better cappers with tastyham. But I think it's gonna be a game of who can move the flag the most and walk it off the standards offense, I think. And I think, in my opinion, it might be Knightron who comes out on top. So, but it's going to be a close game. I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah, I hope we get a close one here. I think one of the interesting things about DX, for me at least, is I don't see a lot of variation in what the Abyss team plays on the offensive side of the map. They're really almost always sitting in that kind of double heavy, double light, and that's all they sit in. And I don't really think 2 lights is the answer on DX. So maybe they've been cooking something up where either AmmYou or Trey moves into either medium or even heavy to get a little bit more oomph on the offensive side of the map there. But honestly, you really just run out of firepower with 2 lights on the offensive side. You've been a direct part of this in a lot of our conversations across scrims and matches. What do you feel like the optimal set of armors is on the offensive side on DX?
So I like to play on DX specifically. I think it's a double heavy medium light. Mostly my job in DX was just take out the gens from back of the hills, and from there we go and frag out and walk the flag. The good thing about the medium is that the medium can do like off-timed phase grabs, and obviously from there you can punt into bed and you can have the heavies escort you. When we played, it was just Nerve doing like ultra quick, like 10-second routes and 15-second routes, and when that didn't work, obviously the double heavies and the medium can then just frag and walk it. So I think, in my opinion, that is the best way to run it. It worked for us. I think we were stomping most teams on DX. So I think that's, in my opinion, the best offensive lineup.
I do like the medium. It offers a lot of that extra utility, like you were mentioning, especially the phase pack. It is so frustrating as a Hoff to just kind of stare at somebody and know that they're just going to avoid all your damage, and you just have to play post grab on DX, where you can do a ton of pre-grab damage on this stand. It is, it honestly, as a Hoff, it's probably your favorite map. If it's not, you probably don't have any protection, and not the kind that you can get at your local grocery store. You know, we're really looking at, you throw down, you talked about your job was basically assigned to the generators. You know, you really got to get the gens down, because if you don't have a gen down, you either have to have perfect clear or just accept that it's going to be walks only, because the force field here is just insane. It is so good on the middle of the stand. There's no, angle of route that you can pick to kind of get away from it. You either have to really, really toe grab, or it's got to be cleared. You don't really have any options as a capper.
Yeah. I think it's especially important to the gens out as well, because like in most cases now, people run double heavies on D. It's like you have a double heavy and a light. So like when you have the double heavies, it's very hard to like clear the stand if you don't have the gens down, because then the mines come into play and the force fields and all that kind of stuff. So like having the gen down is definitely important. So I'll be interested to see how these teams tackle taking the gens down.
Should be pretty fun to watch. We see Rince here in a pub. I wonder if he is just trying to get his mouse figured out, because that's rough. To have an equipment failure on the night of the match, that is pretty hard to swallow if you're Knightron. You're kind of your star chaser, the anchor of your defense, essentially. Yeah. Hamstrung by a mouse failure is that's hard. So, we hope to not have to put an asterisk on this one, of course, but might be hard to see. And you see Rince go offline there now, so maybe a little bit. He's also had some trouble with his network stuff while he tries to stream. So we'll see if.
Why is it always Rince wins?
It's always Rince, man. It's a tornado or a mouse or whatever it is.
Last time was a fire as well, right? It was a fire, a tornado.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Every natural disaster. He's got he just opens his thesaurus for natural disaster.
Natural disasters.
Yep.
Yep.
And I did just receive a message from Rincewind. Can't stream, ping unstable. Rince is typing triple dots. 60 ping, not streaming. Jitters between 70 and 100 while streaming. So we will not have a Knightron point of view for this evening. So we are going to be looking at things through the eyes of solely Abyss players. We'll do our best to kind of keep an eye on both sides of the map. We also only have offense players on Abyss. So we will be looking at a whole lot of what's going on in the eyes of the Abyss offense. Hopefully we'll be able to split that up. I think we do have a variety here of, I believe, Mikesters might be playing back on standoffs. So we should at least have two kind of viewpoints. Of course, there's no spectator mode here for us to deal with. So that's why we're kind of relying on restreams as we go through some of this stuff. And I actually don't know how to.
I thought tastyham used to stream. Tasty and Trubba, both of them.
I think I did see Tasty once upon a time. I haven't seen it in a little while. And Rince just said that he moved his soul setup and shit is not working. So that is a direct quote. Just moved my whole setup and shit is not working with not capitalized. So
no.
Rincewind having a bit of a boomer moment, unable to figure out the Lego connections for, he might have plugged his USB into an HDMI port. It could be tough there.
That's crazy.
We do see some Knightron players filtering in here, and we see Margarita, none other than HotRodRe, will be slotting in onto the defense for Knightron. So we'll see if he can, take the weight of Reddish, and we'll see what their strategy looks like as well. you know, when you lose a sniper, kind of that turret style sniping that Reddish likes to play, I don't think that's HotRod's preferred method to kind of sit around on defense. So we'll kind of have to see if they elect to move things around or if they change that, how that affects them moving through.
Definitely. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen HotRodRe play, to be honest with you. So it's gonna be interesting.
Definitely up to snuff on his aim. HotRodRe is a very kind of an aim labs believer. So HotRodRe is one of the big Voltaic guys that sticks around on aim labs and whatnot. So I don't think you have to worry about him having rusted too much in terms of, you know, at least chain and stuff like that. His tracking should be all right. We'll see how his flicks are. If he's got that down with the disc speed in T3, but still seeing players bounce in and out of the lobbies. There's just a little while longer here. Try to fill some airtime. Do see in the chat, APC believes Knightron's going to win.
tastyham said he would stream, by the way.
He would stream?
I asked him. Yeah, I asked him. He said he's going to stream. He said, yeah, I'll stream.
Very interesting. When I asked 3 hours ago in the Knightron Discord, I didn't get a response from anyone. So
Already, I asked in our Discord.
Oh, all right. Let's see if I can. Is it just tastyham on Twitch? I feel like it's a pretty unique name.
I think it's tastyham.you. I think.
Is it?
Yeah, tastyham.you.
Just with like a U on the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Let's see if that's not quite up yet, but we will get it fired up here in a second, hopefully. Don't have AmmYou yet either, so maybe he's just not getting his stream going until the game starts. But we will have to see where he lands. Still just bouncing players around in the lobby, just over and over and over.
I completely forgot izza was on this team as well, Knightron. So
he's a bit of a forgettable player across all walks of
Trabs
I didn't
games. Say it, man. I didn't say it, man.
Of course, izza, one of our long-known mid-air guys that we played for quite a while with. So no actual bad blood there. Don't want to start anything in the chat, but
I've known izza for like 20 years of my life, him and Marvi. So
yeah. I'll be interested to see what the chat thinks. We have a couple of Knightron fans. I don't know if you can call APC a fan since he is on the roster. I don't think that technically counts, but I would be interested to see who's predicting what. You know, who do we think? Are we looking at Abyss? Are we looking at Knightron? What does the spectator side here think? I would love to know what we're doing. Actually, I can start a poll, I think.
Really? Oh.
Let's do this. Here we go. Let's set a poll. Let's give it 3 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to start a poll. There we go.
Who do you have your bet on, Sin?
I think it is so tough to slot a play. You know, on your offense, maybe you can make it happen because all you really got to do is call a time if you slot a capper in or something like that. But with defense, there is so much going on in terms of figuring out who's going to play where, you know, just the innate communications that get shortened up from 2 or 3 sentences down to 1 once you get some gel going on there. And it's just tough. So I was leaning towards Knightron before I knew that they had some roster stuff going on, and if Rince is on a new mouse, that is tough. So I'm actually gonna go 3 maps to 1 in favor of Abyss here. I think they're gonna pull this one out.
Really? Oh, that's I don't. Maybe you're right. I mean, like they don't have Reddish, so it's a big thing I think as well. I think honestly, I think Abyss is gonna win. But to be opposite to you, I'm gonna say Knightron takes it 3-2.
3-2. Hopefully we get a full best of 5 here. You know, if either team if both teams win a map, that will be the first match to not be a 3-0 across the entirety of the league. So that would be fun to see. I would love to get some of that. Everywhere else has been a 3-0 straight across in the best of 5s.
Wow. Honestly, if anyone, these two teams, I think, would be the ones to do that. So,
I'm hoping they can
game.
pull it out. You know, we'll have to see if HotRod's, maybe he cut his edible in half for the evening and he's not feeling as good as he sometimes feels in our Apex lobbies, but we'll have to figure that one out. And we see the final player for the Knightron team filtering in there. Can we double check that Tasty fired his stream up? I don't know.
He said enjoy the 3K bitrate.
Yeah. Is it tastyham? Is anybody?
Yeah, tastyham, bro. It is.
Okay, we'll have to see. Maybe I'll hit
Let me see.
I'll hit the stream with an F5 here. Maybe we'll get a reset, and that'll.
I just asked him, is he streaming?
Bring things in. Offline at the moment. You can tell who has the affiliate stuff going. Mikesters, of course, does not. But
it's live now. It just came live.
It just came live. Okay. Let's hit another refresh. There we go. All right. And it looks like the map is gonna get going. It looks as though, yep, here we go. So everybody on the loading screen except for Tasty, who's a little behind. Well, I will
maybe keep that one in the back pocket, man.
Yeah. Never easy with the T3 restreams, but we do have the poll ended in chat. So before we get onto the map, we have 67% in favor of Abyss from the spectator section. So we're sticking with some fans here on the Abyss side of things. But let's do some score predictions. Let's talk about DX in particular. What's the score? Who are you giving it to?
I'm going 4-3 in favor of Abyss. I think.
Okay. I think it is going to be 5-2 in favor of Abyss here.
Okay.
And let's do, we'll sit in the quad box a little bit, kind of let people determine their own adventure for a little while, but we'll eventually jump on board with somebody in particular. And I think Tasty might have a full minute delay. Or even longer, maybe.
Yeah, I think it does.
If we need some instant replays, we'll think about that about a minute later. We'll come back over to Tasty if we want to see it. You see a lot of action on both screens. Let's jump on board with AmmYou here as he goes through the stand, and he's going to be able to move this one. So he's moving clean at the moment. Takes some chain damage, so Rince is there. Not quite as close as you'd want. He needs to pass this. 300 health. And tough. I don't know if he got the pass off or if he just died with it. Trubba will get dispatched by Ampjet. He's going to move that one over towards the flag stand, and I don't see any crash that's going to be there in time for Knightron. And 1 minute into things, Abyss puts a point up onto the board.
Incredible. I mean, he didn't even have a pass there, and they still capped it. So, yeah. Crazy.
AmmYou taking some damage on his way out, down to 750-ish, 725 to be exact. Come in on this right side, kind of a hidden behind the hill route, so I like to see some of that. Nobody there. Mikesters not able to get the force field down, and that's what we were talking about. It's just so hard to get past that on DX. It does, is it 800, I believe, if you're over the speed cap as a capper, which is just so tough.
Yep.
Let's get on
But
board.
the gens are both down now for both teams. So.
Yeah, both teams knocking stuff down. It's good to see. Mikesters in medium here. So I was talking, I didn't see a whole lot of variety, and Mikesters already in medium, not in phase though. He's sitting in shield pack, and a little bit of this tossing action threw it a little too low there to get to AmmYou. So it just goes slightly under his feet, and they will hold that in the field for a little while on the Knightron defense. A nice little blink up to the stand there from tastyham. He took a lot of damage on the way out, though. A nice Colt shot. Cross map there from Mikesters. That one goes over the head of izza and Tasty, kind of getting bounced around now. You see the flag get hit. It's got its own hitbox, of course, in T3. Tasty going into it, but the flag's going the wrong way. Mikesters trying to do some damage into everybody. A lot of cluster here from the Knightron team, and a little bit of a backlance coming in from HotRodRe.
Yeah, but both flags are out there, so it is the first standoff, right, of the game. Oh!
It will be.
Oh, because okay, yeah, first standoff.
Stick on with Mikesters here, playing standoff D and Abyss. Something we've criticized them in the past was their standoff defense, you know, kind of being a little disorganized and also stacking standoff D. You know, with 4 players, we didn't like that when we've seen them play a couple of times. So good to see 3 players only, and it looks like they've got their holding set figured out. And interestingly, it is aLoaf and Mike who are both offense clear players, and we have Ampjet going down, doesn't get the pass off. Merge going towards it, but Sek's going to be able to pick that one up. A chaser saving it here for Abyss, so cleaning up when they need to, but not overstacking. A good shot there from Abyss to keep things alive.
It's interesting, they're also, on their standoffs, they're doing double medium, 1 heavy, right? Whereas when we held it, we did double heavies, 1 medium, so...
I like it if they're both using the Colt, you know, that's a lot of damage. You see Rince, though. Nice blink return from him. So dangerous at this point. We'll try to get closer to the action. AmmYou's on a commercial break. Going back to Mikesters. And flags bouncing around. I can't tell if that's in. It's outside the back of the stand at the moment, but that one's going to go in and 1-1. So Knightron will tie it up.
Yeah, 1-1. Knightron did win the standoff, so pretty convincingly it looked like as well, because it didn't even look like on the other side there was a struggle at all. So kind of crazy. Yeah,
just had to toss it kind of into the stand, and then they made it happen. Abyss generator now up. Still down on the Knightron side of things, and you can see someone in there trying to make the repair happen, and you gotta think Meister's gonna pull that out before they get to it. The gen is still down, so actually right here I would like to see Meister's doing a little bit more clear for incoming cappers rather than paying attention to the gens. You know, and it looks like somebody died on stand trying to move that one. But Meister's gonna DJ that one out. Nobody's sitting there. A nice little punt over towards an incoming capper. A lot of chase there, and you see Trubba eliminating Mike with the Colt. Flag is going to hit the ground, and Rince will be able to make the return.
Very interesting.
Moving over to the aLoaf POV, and oh my. Can you tell me what setting that aLoaf has turned on, Matt? Because I saw it as soon as we switched to his point of view.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's tough. I wonder if he's just used to that in games. I can't stand it. Of course, if you didn't notice, watch when maybe aLoaf moves side to side. If you're watching in chat and you're not sure. But the FOV is going to be on there for aLoaf.
Adaptive.
So when he hits the ground and goes side to side, you'll see his screen tilt a little bit, and that will tilt the rest of us here kind of watching. But nonetheless, a little bit, they are going to make the return happen. So a little scary there for a bit. But they get it home, no harm, no foul. Sek actually with the flag there, just trying to move it over mid. So kind of trying to get a little bit of bonus flag there at the end of a standoff, and it's going to get caught. So Trey picks that one up. Not in a great spot, but he does make the punt over to aLoaf. So this one's going to get back to the base. Sek intercepting that. I don't know if a light picking that up is what I would have recommended. And you see red flag now down into the field. I think Sek either overrode comms there and thought he had a better angle at it, or just wasn't sure if someone else was in the play. Maybe aLoaf didn't call it out. Probably a comms breakdown there, but that definitely should have gone to aLoaf.
Yep, 100%. It looks like, are they also running triple medium clear on the Abyss side? They are, right?
I see a heavy up on the other hill here. So unless
Okay,
they've
so it's
completely abandoned the light class, which here comes AmmYou. So they may have been switching things up, but right now there's at least one heavy.
And the gens are back up as well for Knightron. So
Trey there going down. So HotRod able to make a stop. You know, we were talking about HotRod, not a whole lot of time in Tribes 3 at the moment. Real slow there from Trey. I don't expect that one to go much of anywhere. And Tasty's going to bring this one back towards the base. We would switch to his point of view. You know, Tasty is streaming, but if you take a look at the game timer, it is currently 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Rince able to make that return happen. And now dangerous spot for Abyss here. Not sure where. Oh, he's on the other side of the base. Never mind. So 7 minutes and 10 seconds. Let's look at Tasty's POV here. 8 minutes. 10 seconds. So Tasty, unfortunately, did not turn off his delay for this one. So we may jump on to his POV at the end of the games to give us a little bit more airtime. But we're going to be sticking mostly to the players that are all in sync. Jumping on board with Mikesters for a little bit. And Abyss not moving this one over the side of mid yet. And Meister's just completely electing to ignore it. So likely it's been called that somebody has that held in the field on the Knightron side of things. Trubba here holding. Gets conked though. So that one's going to float down in the right side. And Trey scoops the return.
I can do enough. Rince on team left. Someone left right.
Jen's back up for both teams.
yeah, I think honestly I don't really think it's the cappers that are getting out too much. It's mostly like the cluster play, which is what I'm seeing the most. Is like just grabbing off the stand and throwing it through mid and punting it. I think that's the whole game plan.
Yeah, just gonna walk and toss.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough. You know, early game, it was one of the things that we mentioned. You love this map if you're a Hoff. There is so much damage to be done in such a tight space.
Yeah.
And as a light, you don't have any ways to avoid it. You blink straight forward. That's your only recourse. You don't have any fancy, change my angle. I'm going to fake you out. It's like, I know where you're coming from. There's no sneakiness to be had here. And this one's now going to be in the corner. Mike's going to dig it out, though, and takes a DJ with shield pack activated. So he'll get the punt to go over mid. Tastyham going to be bringing it home. Again, Tasty out a lot.
Tasty is out a lot.
The Knightron
Tasty
side
is
of
moving.
things.
Yep. Maybe the Abyss guys are struggling a bit with the whole. Oh wow, that's a nice return from Clout. Really good return. And on the other side, Sek gets the return on the other side.
So a lot lower scoring so far than either of us predicted. Pretty evenly matched with 5 minutes to go. You see Mike just trying to get through there. He makes his own clear, and that'll be Rince that he drops. So no conk in the area at the moment, and he gets one shot on the punt off. Goes over, and Sek picks that one up. And the return happened on the other side, so it's here. There's a lot of crash. 2 lights dropping in towards red flag, and nobody there for Abyss.
Wow. Nobody's there to pick up. Absolutely nobody.
I really want to know how that's happening. Like it wasn't like Mike was home really fast or anything. You'd expect there to be respawners or somebody recalling. Somebody's got to be calling for that.
Maybe they just have too many camps or regrabs. I'm not really sure what they're doing.
Yeah. I'd be interested to know. Maybe they have a set group of players that they've just concrete gone to that say these are the only guys who are taking passes. But I wouldn't expect that because Sek has picked up a couple of flags. Yep. So they definitely know that everybody can touch the flag. It doesn't seem like they've got anything solid there. Clout and Winner standoff here. AmmYou's going to go down to actually just pass that one over towards Ampjet, but lots of crash here for Knightron. Tough spot now for Abyss, and you got to imagine they're going to lose this one. Players at full health on Knightron. They're just bumping it down.
I mean, Rince just gets it. Yep.
And there it is. Rince puts it back. Mikesters now trying to get there in time, but nobody going to be there for Abyss.
Second cap.
and they'll go 2-1.
Wow. This is a very close game, though, man. Really, really close game.
It has been tough. And, something we talked about before is the standoff D for Abyss just not holding up at the moment. Not able to keep things alive. Something that they clearly still need work on.
Maybe it's the COVID hitting Songsteal.
The COVID
maybe
debuff for Song. It's
Yep.
true. It's possible. Mike dropping to his own hand grenade there. See Mogg out to the right. He's going to be getting home. So Knightron now getting home. At least
Abyss-
every other run.
Abyss is they're really struggling to move the flag. Like I don't understand why. Because the gen is down. Maybe I'm not really sure what's going on. Not enough clear. Doesn't. I'm not sure.
It's entirely possible. We jump on with AmmYou here, see his point of view. Still in light, so I think I have not seen Trey in a different armor as well. I think they're still sticking to the two.
It's still double lights. Yeah.
AmmYou just trying to do some hunt on the chasers. That one's gonna go kind of into mid. Tough spot now for Abyss. I don't think they're going to get this one, and it goes into the wrong bowl. So the return will happen for both teams.
I think what's happening is, as you say, they're running double lights, but HotRod is pushing it aggressively on Mikesters and killing him quickly, and then the two cappers are just not being able to move the flag against the Hoff and Rincewind. I think that's what's going on. What's what it looks like, at least.
Yeah, I would love to see. And you do see Trey on the other side there. That's that light chevron. So he's dropping in, and they have timing, but the stand is not all the way clear. But Trey moves this one.
Trey does move it.
I'll bring that one all the way back to the base. AmmYou trying to do a bit of camp with 590 health, and he's going to return back to base now. He'll get cleared out, actually, by the heavy here. So we're going to get off of his POV at the moment. Mikesters spawning near his base. Got to secure this one. Kind of getting bumped down the hill. This is a common theme.
Yeah.
It's the red flag gets dropped kind of close to the edge, and then Knightron makes the play to bump it down. And a nice little E-grab there is not going to be just enough. Little bit tense on the stand, and Mogg saved it for just a little while. But Song and Mike able to combine on some kills and make the cap happen there. So 20 seconds, and they're both tied up.
20 seconds left, yeah. You can tell they were rushing for that cap there. They were a bit freaking out of it.
They wanted that one to happen. They were needing it. And this is not what you want if you're Abyss going into overtime. Your gen just dropped, and repair just came through. You saw, I believe, HotRod bumping out there. But Mike, wow. Okay, there was another person in there. I was like, man, maybe they changed the values. But Trey going to move that one as well. So gen down just in time. And Trey's going to be going over mid. This one down into the midfield. Sec sitting on that one. You see some offense there going towards it from Knightron. So they're going to have to move that one. They need this to go over mid at minimum, and it won't happen. Song's going to make that return. So now you're going to see a lot of clustering towards the stand. Trey's going to come in from the back right. Nobody there for Knightron, and Abyss is going to put away map 1, 3-2. Little rough there at the start. Abyss got the first one in about 60 seconds, and then they had to wait quite a while, but put up 2 in about the last, minute? So all Abyss needs is 2 minutes, but the other 14, it took some doing. So Abyss is going to move 1 map up on Knightron, and we're going to jump into Rain Dance.
Yeah. That was a... I don't know, that map, maybe the map was just a feeler map as well. A lot of these guys, I don't think they play much. I know izza specifically plays mid-air a lot, and I think a couple of other guys as well. So I know Rince has been playing mid-air lately, so maybe that map was just a feeler as well. So
I know Trubba is fully addicted to Farm Merge Valley.
Oh, really?
I see him just idling in whatever channel, just jumping through channels, trying to see who can go merge his stuff for him. So
yeah.
Maybe not a whole lot of FPS going on at the moment for Sir Trubba.
I didn't actually see it. Like, what were the like kill differentials and stuff? Did you? Can we flip over to Tasty's?
I wonder if
real quick?
Tasty's still got. Oh, we're just a little late. There,
No.
but it did look like the kill count was pretty high for Trubba. You know, yeah, I think I saw about 38 on him. And do you see some accusatory comments towards Rince in the chat? We do have to remember Rince had a mouse failure at the start of the match and is on a 10-year-old G400S. So Rince with a mouse swap right into this one, guys. So don't be too mean to the man from the Knightron side of things. It's a tough go.
He also has a hurricane rolling in. And he's playing on Linux on his mobile phone.
It's not even an iPhone. It's Hawaii too.
It's not even live, bro.
Just waiting for the teams to get fired up on the Rain Dance. What do you think about this one? Polar opposite in terms of style.
It's a hard one. I feel like I feel like Knightron will take it. But it'll be a close game. I know Trey and obviously AmmYou, those guys are good cappers, and tastyham obviously is like one of the best TA cappers. But I think like Trubba, Rince, you know, those guys are gonna show up in this map. I think it's just because it's a bigger map, and you know they can do a lot more hunting and that sort of thing. But on the other side, obviously, you have second Songsteal duo, which were very strong on Rain Dance as well. So, but I think Knightron may come out on top in this one. Personally, it's gonna be a close game though. Maybe like 4-3 to Knightron. I think.
I would love to see it. I would love to see another close one come out of these guys. It would be excellent if we could see some stuff. I do see Tasty is offline, so maybe he has recognized the error of his ways and restarted his stream to get the delay off, and maybe we'll have a POV from the Knightron side of things. That would be excellent if we could get that to fire up.
Yeah. What do you think, Sin? What's your thoughts? Who's gonna win?
Man, this one is hard for me to predict with Reddish being out, because I think Snipe on Rain Dance it might be the strongest map for Snipe.
Yeah,
I really like it here. There is so much open space that you can work with. It's just so nice as a sniper, and if you take that away, you really got to make the stops at the stand. It's tough to chase if you let that right to left side route out. You know, it's not as bad if it's a left to right from defense perspective. You know, you can kind of get some chase onto that, but if it's coming from the right or kind of the back, you're just home so quickly on Rain Dance with the speed here. So I do like the cappers a little more on Knightron, but I like the defense on the Abyss. Yeah, definitely. So I think to offset things off, I think we're hitting overtime again, and I think we're seeing a 4-3 in favor of Abyss here.
Oh wow, okay, opposite to me. Very interesting. Yeah, the back routes on this map are just insanely fast as well. Like the bounces you can do on the stand as well are they're so strong. Like it's honestly, I when this map first came out, I hated it. Then I actually started rooting on it. I loved it. Like it's one of my favorite maps. So we'll see what they do.
Good suggestion there from chat. We're going to jump on board with AmmYou. We'll do some shout outs throughout the game so you can guys get some follows on these guys' channels. They stream their scrims a lot, at least the Abyss guys. They love to stream the scrim. Really high route here coming in from AmmYou. Almost an orbital, and he's going to move it over mid. Of course, no fall damage, no cratering in T3, so it doesn't really matter. And it's going to be same story as last game.
Same story, exactly the same. Yeah.
Abyss just has the first 60 seconds figured out. You see, maybe Tasty can trade this one as he comes in, and that's that right to left side. So kind of going
He's
to
on here.
direct to the left, though, not into mid, and he gets dropped by Song. So that one will fall actually down into the hands of HotRod, and now it's looking like E-grab situation here. AmmYou's going to get stopped, and I don't see the other capper. I see a light drop in there, but Mikesters, a hero return right in front of Trubba. Makes it happen. Keeps his team up in this one at the moment. A little bit of a jolt there on AmmYou stream. Let's see if tastyham has returned. He has not. I wonder if maybe he went away, but we'll go back on board with let's jump on with AmmYou and see his route start. This one's going to be a while, so let's get into some of the action. We see a death screen for aLoaf.
Tasty is back, by the way, so he needs to refresh.
He is back. I need to refresh. All right. Well, while we have nothing going on, I am going to take that opportunity to hit the F5 button. If somebody caps, I blame you. We have ads on a couple of streams, but we'll jump on board. Let's see Tasty's POV here.
Up.
Blinks through. Cleared his own mines. You saw there. His gadget spot is on cooldown. Threw a hand grenade and blew up a mine that was sitting in front of him. So heads up play there from him. But Trey is going to blink through. No stand to stand cap. And Mikesters now needs to toss it. Just kind of whips it over to the left side, hoping somebody is spawning there. And nobody yet. Red's just sitting in the field forever. Somebody's got to get into it. Tasty's going to pick up his own pass that just sat in the field forever, and now he's going to try to throw it over to HotRod. Eventually, Knightron gets it figured out. A little bit of a squiggly line there in terms of the pass.
Yeah, maybe some jitters, some miscommunications. Not sure.
Could have been interesting. You see this? I like this from Tasty. He switches into heavy.
Yep.
To get on the offensive side of the map. A lot of cappers will just spawn in their capping loadout to go offense, and I love the extra just health and firepower here from Tasty. I was wondering if he was going to camp. Like maybe they heard somebody call that they were going to lose it, but maybe they cleaned it up, kept things alive. But nope, not the case. Does not. Also, still using the gets the return. Excellent there from Tasty. I like to see everything that I just saw. Tasty, one of the very few players that we see using bolt launcher, and he does it across light and heavy.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's from the TA days. He uses bolt launcher there as well. So
it's such a big model.
It's a massive model, man. It's huge.
It's the whole bottom of the screen. You can't see anything below him. Oh, so we'll stay on board here a little bit.
One thing about this map, which I see a lot of cappers do, is like because the map is so big, you become very floaty on your return routes, and obviously when you're floaty, you get double chained out. So like I think that's one thing I like when we did it, we tried to stay as low as possible, and I think most cappers float in the air, and that's where they get chained out, double chained out. So I think love to see like a couple of Tasty's return routes, see how they are.
See if we can get somebody close to the action here. I don't know. What are the game timers at? So we got 10:26. So Tasty's still a little behind.
A little bit.
But so the cappers are just a bit behind, and the offense is on the same timing. So let's stick here with let's get Tasty some more screen time and see what he's like.
Trey's right.
Gens are down for Knightron. We talked about sniping in the earlier stage of things here, and traditionally what we had seen Abyss doing, kind of the double hunt, abandon the Hoff on the stand, chain guns out the wazoo. But I did notice on the last run where Tasty was moving to try to get a grab going, Sek is actually using phase rifle here.
Oh, wow.
So Sek is in snipe, which I am not familiar with. I don't know if that's something new that they're just now whipping out. And no blink there from Tasty, and I think he must have hit a mine. No, he hasn't lost enough health maybe for a mine, so just took some splash damage on the stand. He's going to base. Maybe get this toss to somebody. Nobody. This is kind of a common theme.
Nobody. Yeah. No one's ever there to meet him. Yeah, ever.
Eventually throws it back towards, I believe, Izza to get that one. But both teams, sometimes the cappers kind of getting home and looking around, kind of having to press the courtesy bell there at the front of the hotel desk before they can get a room and get the flag passed. But we'll move into full standoff. 1-0, so still low scoring.
Might be a common theme across these maps. An Abyss capping in the first 6 seconds and it slows down to a hold.
It really does seem to be that way. You know, if they do it on the third map, there might be a bit of a conspiracy here. You know, after the jazzening, I don't know if we can always trust
The
everything.
jazzening.
I don't know.
True. But looks like they're gonna hold on, yeah.
They will.
Yeah.
Other side of the map, we'll jump on board with AmmYou now. So a little bit of an Abyss standoff O perspective, and he's just kind of throwing stuff from way over in the distance, letting Izza know that he's there. And you see kind of two players, all three actually, loop around the back here. And then a fourth coming in on the front. So kind of just everybody from all the angles there kind of circling into the flag at once. But so far, Knightron able to clean things up. And you see AmmYou drop, and I believe he was the last alive. Izza just elects to return himself to the base, and a return happens actually.
Oh, he gets a return, yeah.
That's going to come home, and Songsteal makes the E-grab there, so not an instant cap for Knightron. Didn't have the time. It's hard to get to the stand here. Not as far as, you know, something like Dry Dock, but the normal place that teams like to play, you are far enough away from the stand that if there's anybody that is even like starting to cross mid when a return happens, you can almost always see an E-grab come through.
100%, 100%. I think it's good that they com that as well. So someone, in my opinion, someone should always be available for an E-grab if possible, obviously. So it's good they're doing that. Oh, AmmYou. Oh, he just missed the return. So close.
Couldn't quite get to the return, and he will get mopped up by the defense there from Knightron. So both teams actually holding this one at the moment. No returns coming through. Still keeping it together. You see the standoff timer ticks down to about a minute. We haven't actually had a standoff timer go all the way through here. One of the teams has always been able to make it happen. But some good passing so far. You see a lot of tossing happening right now. If you're looking at the kill feed, Abyss just moving things around the ring around the rosy style. Which I love to see that one. And just no damage done.
No, it's hardly any damage.
It feels like Abyss is just trying to get the flag on the ground with a conch and then blink through it. They're sending, you see two lights over there right now. AmmYou's DJing over in light. He's going to pick up that health nug in mid, but it seems like Knightron is aware of the strategy here from Abyss. And they're just passing the flag before the count can come through. Of course, I say that, and the blink happens, and AmmYou's through it.
No,
we talked
not
a little bit too much about it, and right as we start to criticize, the Abyss offense makes it happen, and it's going to turn into a cap here if we don't get another E-grab, and we will not have one there from Knightron. Nobody there in time, so 2-0. The caster curse, an ever classic moment. That's going to turn it into a 2-0 lead for Abyss.
You hate to see it. I don't know. I really feel like the whole light O only offense is it doesn't work with the whole Nova Cult mediums, I think. But I guess people can make it work somehow. But yeah. There's just no one on the.
There's nobody.
No one on the stand. Yeah, there's no one there.
I think one Colt shot and he's gonna drop, but nobody's gonna be able to make it happen. So AmmYou will get home, and it looks like Mogg is gonna toss that one over towards somebody on his team. Let's see if Tasty's got any bit of a view on it, and he does. But Trey is gonna make the return, so now danger spot for Knightron. They really need somebody on that stand. They got nobody there, and 3-0 now. Abyss maybe finding their stride here about 2/3 of the way through Rain Dance.
It certainly looks that way, yeah. 3-0. 4 minutes left. Honestly, it just feels like they've really gotten unlucky on a couple of these returns at least. It's because it doesn't seem like they're like absolutely like stomping on them. Like in my opinion, like the scoreline maybe 3-0, but it seems a lot closer than what it is.
They're definitely not getting. You see there, Tasty
Yeah,
getting
sniped.
sniped
Yeah.
again, and it
Oh,
affects his
no.
route enough that he can't hit the barrels for his preferred bounce. So this flag will drop into mid. Tasty drops with it. Trey's gonna move that one right to left. See if AmmYou's got any optics on what's going on. He's just kind of skiing through at the moment, so we'll see him get dropped there. And Trey's into the stand. Rince going by, but Conk won't hit. And now 4-0 in favor of Abyss.
Wow.
Kind of a
Very tough.
tough go so far.
I wonder if
for
having no reddish snipe on this map is really severely hurting them.
I would imagine it has to be. And Reddish also
Yeah.
plays on standoff defense. So, you know, they might be used to seeing the lights come in already ticked down to half or even lower with Reddish playing that phase rifle home D position. Mikesters going to try to punt this one over to a capper. And he's got somebody in the area to get some damage into Rince. Rince just gets melted. The whole offense is escorting this one home for Abyss. And they're going to make this at least over mid. Now Trubba is just trying to get something to go on the stand, but he won't be able to do it. 5-0. One cap to start things off for Abyss there, Matten. And then right at the end, just absolutely open the floodgates.
Yeah, it just look. It started off so like a very like close game, going back and forth, and Abyss just stormed ahead. Like, it just felt like there was no one on stand for Knightron. Like, it felt like, you know, they weren't even meeting their cappers. tastyham was coming home, having to hail down a pass. Like, it didn't feel like good as it normally would be, I think. I'm not sure whether that's because of Reddish or because of Rust. It's really, I'm really not sure.
Tough spot to be in if you're Knightron, you know, missing one of your premier players in Reddish, not able to make it. Rince sitting on another mouse.
Yeah.
And Abyss really finding their stride. You know, they kind of figured things out there towards the end and just put 4 up within, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes. It was tough to see. Just couldn't quite get anything going on the stand like you were talking about. And we're going to move on to map 3. So Torment now, and Abyss has slid into match point. So they will have 3 consecutive maps to pull this one home and claim 3rd place.
Yeah. I mean, it can be done for Knightron. Like, I mean, I've been in the position where we have had to win 3 consecutive maps, and we have done it. So it can be done. I guess it just depends on like what their mental is, what they're thinking about. Are they like in a state where they just like don't care anymore? Like, it's a tough spot to be in. It's a really tough spot to be in. So.
It's hard, you know, especially with Rince being one of the more vocal leaders on Knightron there, and to take just kind of like even the mental, even if the mouse was very similar, you know, I don't know exactly what model that he moved from, you know, if he moved from like a G Pro to a G400 or whatever it is, just that like mental uncertainty of your exact feel, you know, when you swipe really hard, are you going to grip the same? Is there anything like that? And having him still trying to, you know, run comms, kind of steer the team around. That's a hard one to deal with.
Very hard, very hard. Yeah, definitely. And would you say Torment is a sniper half as well? Because I feel like it could be because it's so big, but I don't know. I feel like it is. I know Jago I think Jago uses sniper on every map though, but
I think if you play around the kind of like edge, like Torment has kind of that rim around the stand of hills. Yeah. So if Reddish was able to kind of play around the rim and stay there without getting focused too much by the offense, I think it is. But behind those hills, there's a lot of space for offense kind of clear to play. So if they're sitting around, kind of, you know, Mikesters popping out from behind a hill and knocking Reddish around, Reddish kind of likes to play more of that turret style. So it's tougher when you're that sniper who kind of likes to sit on top of a hill on these maps where the offense has some places where they can hide. It's a little tougher, but we'll have to see here. You know, Sack, we saw sniping last map. I'd really love to see if he's going to try that again this go around. and how effective he's going to be. We see the countdown starting, and I'm going to go, based on what we saw in Rain Dance, I think this is going to be 4-2. I think Knightron will put a couple of home here. It is hard to make sure you stop all the back routes, but I think 4-2 in favor of Abyss.
I'm going 5-2 for Abyss. I just think they will take it here.
I think they're going to cap it all the way out.
I think so, yeah.
We'll have to see. Mikesters not having the best of starts through mid. Takes a mid-air from one of the Knightron offenses. He goes over. Jumps into phase, and you can tell Mikesters just is rabid for the generators right now. He's in he's in his gen killing loadout, but HotRod's having none of it. Mikesters going to get dropped as he tries to drop down into the gen rooms, and Capper, I believe that may have been AmmYou who tried to move out with it, will also get murdered by the offensive Knightron. Woof.
Oh, he gets it.
Rince,
his cam is out.
Little sweaty there. Tasty's moving, and they are going to put the first one up. So a reversal of roles this time. Abyss, the last 2 games have been the first one to put something on the board, but Knightron maybe finding their stride early, a little more comfortable on Torment, and they're going to go up 1-0.
Yeah, there could be life in them yet, so I guess we'll see. Maybe it's a reversal, like you say.
A reverse sweep. It's possible.
Yep.
We could see it happen. Tasty moving, but you see him get body blocked there. Dies to the loving embrace of Ampjet playing Hoff for the Abyss side of things. I see Mogg out, though, and I don't see any immediate kills on him. Sek actually snipes him out, so Sek is playing Sniper again, and that's going to result in a return for Abyss, and Trey is out full on the other side of the map. You see Rince getting hunted. 3 players worth of Colts headed towards Rince there. Tough spot. Little bit of jank there on the pass for Mikesters, but he will eventually pick this one up, and a backlance comes through. I think that was aLoaf onto HotRod, and that will put HotRod back in spawn. Return comes through, but Rince with a nice E-grab. He's going to move that one out to the left side for a little while, and I think he had some health. I didn't see that he'd been DJ'd, but he is going to try to toss it over to a teammate. I didn't see if there was anybody in the direct area. We'll jump over towards tastyham. He's looking here for a camp. So you got to think this one's getting returned. It's been called. And actually return happens for Knightron. So they make it come home. Maybe somebody there is holding it in field, but you see Tasty burning all of his health and all of his energy trying to get out to this one, just forcing it away from Sek, but Sek wisely still sitting there, maybe not so wisely. He's going to be able to kill Tasty. But this one drops pretty close to the Knightron base. So if anybody was there to scoop, it could have been awkward, but no such case. And return happens. And you can hear Rince just barely calling for the E-grab. Looking at Mikesters here. So the pass went over the top of the base. Did not go directly towards stand. So this will be up to Abyss. So the pressure has been on Knightron for quite a while here, and they're going to make the return happen, and now the pressure just completely flips. Flag floating into mid. You see Mikesters going for it, but Sek is there to save the day.
A good return.
And he'll make the return happen.
Yeah, they're just like, it feels like a constant back and forth. Like they're like clustering it back and forth, and it feels like rather than, because on Tommy you normally see like a very methodical play where it's like clears coming in and Kappa is just on some like clean route, but it feels like it's way more like clustery play where they're like punting through mid. It feels like that. It's that sort of game.
A lot of cluster. Mikesters is in light.
Yes, he is a light. Yeah.
Mikesters is not a light player, but it's going to move for now. It won't be Mikesters himself, but maybe just a little bit enough of a decoy, and Trey is out completely clean. So 3 seconds worth of E-grab, and maybe Trey makes it in. He does make it through. Oh, but to stand, the blah.
Well, Tasty out such a clean as well.
Trubba made the play on the stand. I wasn't sure if it was a conk or a kill, but it was a kill, and it goes all the way back. Knightron makes the play happen. I thought Trey had capped the flag. I was starting my sentence. I was sure it was over. And the play got extended by a hero shot from Trubba.
Yeah.
Twisted me all the way around. And Knightron, looked like a back out there. They're going to be able to go up 2-0.
Wow. That was incredible. Well played.
Trubba hit a lucky merge there. Exactly. Excellent. Excellent commentary from Trevor in chat. Mikesters still in light. Gets dropped by Clout. What? I'm not familiar. Okay, now he's going back to heavy. I was going to say,
maybe he was just stuck in light for like the last 5 runs. I'm not really sure.
Maybe so. I can tell you, Rince here trying to get some intercept damage onto Trey. Doesn't get the midair, and this one's going to go close to the stand. No E-grab there in time.
Oh.
Will it be a repeat? No. It will not. Trubba does make the kill, but this time there are enough players on the stand, and the conversion will come through for Abyss. Nothing doing there from Tasty either on the grab. There was a couple few players looking at him.
I wonder if the mouse trouble is really hurting Rince, because like normally you'd see he would hit those shots, or you would hit the chain. So it's interesting to see, like he wouldn't be able to get that. So
I mean, it has to be, right?
It has to be, right?
You know,
I
you
mean,
don't swap mice unless it's a 1-for-1 model, and even then, you know, depending on your skates, like if the skates are new or old, it could be just that little bit different.
Yep.
See AmmYou coming in on somewhat of a back route here, and he's spotted, and he's going to get dropped. So HotRod will make that one happen all on his own. Mogg is going to try to punt this one through mid. Doesn't get that far, and there's a lot of Abyss in the area. So this one will go back to the Abyss base. Not much danger there. And we get a commercial on AmmYou stream, so let's jump on board. We haven't seen what aLoaf's doing this game yet. Doing a little bit of defense at the moment. I do not like his crosshair. I'll tell you what, not my favorite.
Yeah.
To each their own, you know. Mikesters, of course, plays with this massive, insane mortar spam overlay just over his screen the whole time. Doesn't even have like an activation key for it. It's just there. So might not be able to be too critical. Lots of players there for Knightron.
Yeah, really quickly.
And that one will get moved back. So exactly at the halfway point now, barring any overtime. Gens are down for Abyss at the moment. Knightron's got him up. And Clout trying to move that one. Not going to get that into mid. Goes into Tasty for a little while, who just elects to throw it again. Maybe they're playing a little bit of hot potato, but Rince picking it up now.
Rince does pick up.
So an interesting set of players kind of rotating through the flag. And aLoaf now, is he going to be able to pick this one? He mid-airs Clout, but not enough to get him off of it. Clout will pick that one up, but he will drop to the spam. Lots of players dropping towards it. And you can see the shot was true from aLoaf there. So he hits it, and it dropped down into the bowl. But I don't think anything happened. It looked like that may have actually been returned, and then Mogg was either camping or on a route. So that one's going to go all the way back, and we may enter, I think, one of our first standoffs here.
I think it might be the first standoff, yeah. I think Mogg was just on a route, like a regrab route, and so happened to have the flag at the right time. So
Colt coming out from aLoaf here, so I think it's aLoaf, Mikesters, and Ampjet. Seems to be what the Abyss side has settled into. Nice toss here, but aLoaf's going in no man's land. Nice little punt. Gets kind of far, so might have gotten it actually past all the returners there, and this one goes up into the air. Chance to tie it up now for Abyss. Players in the area for Knightron, but not going to be able to make it happen. 2-2 now. And Abyss evening things up.
I for sure thought they'd get... I mean, there were 3 red guys around aLoaf, and they just didn't get it somehow.
I think without that punt, that's a for sure return. But kind of just his dying disc.
Yep.
Throws one at the flag and moved it far enough. ALoaf getting cleared out there. So HotRod definitely pulling his weight. We've seen him in the kill feed quite a few times across all the maps. Not a traffic cone by any means. Back route coming in here. You can see, I think actually 2 of them for Abyss. And the Hoff is going to get moved, but the ever so popular force field is going to make the stop. On behalf of izza. And it'll go back to the stand. Both teams back into standard setup. Kind of a frag fest here from aLoaf, and he's going to try to move it, toss it over towards a heavy. So just kind of a cluster play, and we'll see how far they can make it move.
Yeah, I suppose that the middle of this map is quite small, so like these cluster plays do like work out in most cases. Oh, that's a really nice return by Mogg, really nice. But yeah, as I was saying, the cluster plays do work out, I suppose, through the middle. So
I don't think Unomi is gonna have any chance on this. He has no health. No reloads.
No way.
He's dropped. Play is all the way over at the Knightron stand now. So HotRod, he's going to be skiing in. aLoaf the last hope. And no hero play this time from aLoaf. And Knightron will go up by 1 with 3.5 minutes to go.
Wow. This game is extremely close again, yeah. Apart from Raindance, obviously.
Yeah, Raindance maybe just an outlier there. Kind of seemed like Knightron was really missing Reddish and his participation with the phased rifle. Red flag drops into the bowl here, so Knightron will kind of keep an eye on this one. They're trying to move it around, but you're just sitting on the hills that Knightron...
He keeps going around. he keeps ski boosting around.
Poor aLoaf.
Unlucky, man. Unlucky.
Unlucky. That's all you have to say.
No.
We're seeing Tasty moving with this one. So he's going to get back towards the base. Actually, it's Mogg who has the flag. Toss hits the top. Oh, awkward spot there. Sek is going to get dropped, though, so just awkward for everybody. And now, hopefully, the time return is there for Knightron. It will be 3-2 now. Just a bit of time left for Abyss to get over here. I don't see any incoming crash, so this should be 4. But a nice conk from Sek. He saves it as he flies through, and the turn happens, too.
Wow.
Oh, what a hero play by Sek, flying through. Hits the Knightron. What an absolute save there from Sek. You know, 2 caps in 2 minutes is doable, but it's tough, but he keeps it within 1.
Yeah, what an absolute giga chat. That was an incredible play.
Even just having the bravery, I mean, you kind of have to, but just in light, just throwing yourself at the stand and hoping like, all right, well, I'm either going to hit this or,
yep, exactly.
or my existence in the play is over, but Sek made it happen. AmmYou gets the Hoff off the stand for now, and I don't know exactly where both the flags are. It looks like actually it's held in field for Abyss, and red flag is over towards the base, but the return comes through. Mogg able to make the return on the Knightron side of things, keeps his team up 1. AmmYou trying to walk it through mid now. So we saw him kind of sitting around in the back of the base, and he's going to thrust through the stand. Mikesters now going up, electing for a little bit of camp as well. So Abyss maybe making some comms here, saying, hey, we might be able to turn this around. 2 quick ones. But Tasty on the other side, we'll see how much health he's got. Only 200. So anything from any player, essentially, is going to turn his day sour. And he throws it over the top of his other capper. No. Really tough spot now for Tasty, and Sek makes it even tougher, puts him back in the spawn. So Sek's going to hold that one in the field. You can see AmmYou here trying to keep that one up on the stand, but it drops off. So it's still a bit of a chance here for Knightron, just bouncing the flag around. And you see AmmYou still shooting at it. There's nobody down there. The flag is still dropped. Nobody has picked the flag up on the Abyss side of things. AmmYou just trying to suicide there and keep people off the stand. He actually is able to get one with his mortar that he shot right under his feet, but the flag just bounced around for so long on the Abyss base. And again, it's just still in the air. Knightron doing such a good job of getting the crash over here. It's still just bouncing around.
20 seconds
All of
left
the
as well.
players for Knightron. You're running out of time, and the return happens as well.
the
Absolute nightmare if you're Abyss. Now you pull everybody, the goalie, the Hoff, your mom, your school teacher from 8th grade. You got to get them all on the stand right now. You have to move this flag. You have no opportunity to do anything else. AmmYou's the last hope. He gets it just barely in the time. The clock ticks to 0. But if this return happens, it is going to be a map going over to Knightron, and you can see both flags actually over in their base there. So everything happening on the Knightron side of the map there. They don't have to worry about any other kind of spawns. Look at all the red dots over on the side of the map with the flag there, and Knightron will take us to a map 4. It will be the first best of 5 that does not end in 3 games. They will not go quietly into the night. And Knightron has started the comeback. This is it. This is the beginning of the reverse sweep. Just one game at a time.
That game was those players had some incredible clutch players, like all of them from both sides. Like Sek had some incredible returns. I think Clout got a few, Rince got a few, Trubba with that amazing stand play as well. Like they really want the dub. So like you can tell these guys are trying hard. So very close game.
Both teams looking for a medal. You know, they don't want to go out of this with a 4th place, no color next to the name. You know, they want that little bronze 3. And good fight there we saw on Torment. And now we move to Wave Mist, which traditionally has been an absolutely excellent map for Song and Sek. This is one of their favorites. The map is thin. The map is bright. There's a lot of hills that send you just straight up in the air, which is absolute heaven for the hunt style that they like to play.
I'm surprised, why, if I was Knightron, I would have banned this map personally, because I just don't like it, especially against second Song. And on the Knightron side, they don't have Reddish to be the second LD, so very interested to see how they handle this one, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, HotRodRe been playing a lot more of that kind of stick
medium,
near the
I
stand.
think it was a medium, right?
Yeah, on medium, which you
I
can
don't think
do it
it'll work
on Wave Mist, but I really think that, as you said, the lights, whether it be chain or snipe, it's just such a good map for the light armor to play on defense. But we'll have to see. Knightron surprised us on Torment. They're able to eke that one out, and now they're looking to take us to game 5. So we'll see if they can force a winner takes all match, or if Abyss will be able to bring things home in 4 games. So let's do our standard. What are you looking at? What's the score prediction here, man?
I still think Abyss will take it 5-2, I think.
5-2. All right.
Yeah.
I'm really pulling for Knightron here. I want to see him take it to game 5, but I am also going to predict Abyss on this one, and I think it's going to be 5-1. If second Song are up to snuff, and Song, of course, playing with COVID, that's tough. You probably actually expect Song to get worse as time goes on here, as you're burning up energy, especially when you're sick like that. That's a tough pill to swallow. But if they can play at the level that they normally do on Wave Mist, I think this is going to go pretty firmly into the hands of Abyss.
Yeah. What I find even more interesting is that I think AmmYou and Trey are both thrust capping, and they're still getting out clean on Wave Mist. So that's very interesting to me.
Return comes home there for Abyss. See AmmYou spawning, so he's going to have a vantage point from the back of the base. But Clout makes it happen as well. So no cap in the first 60 seconds. A deviation from the norm from these two teams. Of course, Abyss putting one up in the first minute on the map 1 and map 2. And then Knightron turning things around. So actually, so far, the team to score first in all of our games has been the winner.
The winner, yeah.
So maybe a little bit of a fun stat to look at here. Kind of a slow thrusty back here from AmmYou, and he gets conked on stand. Rince having none of it. And it'll get bounced around. Mikesters trying to do a little bit of pickup there, and he actually kind of scooped it right in front of, I think, a blink that came through from Trey. So maybe better for Trey to grab it, but I don't know if he had an exit route Rince will put that one back on the stand, and it has not moved off of the Abyss stand. Just, of course, as I say it, let's jump over to Tasty, who just picked it up. And he's sitting pretty at the moment. He's going to take a little bit of chain as he goes over mid. I don't think he makes the stand here, does he? I think he's going to be a little bit short.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, he's short.
Realizing it now as well. So he'll kind of bump around real slow, and oh my goodness.
Oh!
He does make the cap happen, but that was a drive and miss daisy if I ever saw one. You
can tell he was really concentrating on that one.
Yeah, he was. I don't know if he had a harder grip on his mouse at any point there. He was really struggling to get around to the stand, but hey, a cap is a cap. Knightron will take that every time.
And they do get the first
and another
cap
one
as well,
comes through.
Yeah. Wow. Wow, that's incredible.
I didn't even see who got out with that one, but
I didn't see that one either, man.
Knightron just completely within 20 seconds of each other?
Yeah.
2 caps, so maybe eager to show us wrong. You can hear Hot Rod there in the comms just absolutely counting down a capper. So maybe a little bit of extra there from them. And actually, let's do this. Since Tasty's got his comms on, let's do a little bit of a listen in with Knightron.
They can't get it's very important.
Off's dead.
I think they got a left leaving.
Sec down.
One's in there right now.
I'm going.
Yeah, one left
here. Song's on him though.
I'm walking this at 3 cap.
Okay, I'll reset then.
Got him.
Trey cut in.
I'm to the left. Front of you.
He's very low left.
Resetting then. I'm gonna go off.
Have good chase.
Song's coming in on that right now.
I'm right behind you.
Towards the tower. If you can get it and throw it towards the tower.
You can hear a little bit of frustration there from Tasty as he.
There's a bit of a panic toss as well. When Trubba's like, I'm behind you, and he throws it to the side, so it's a bit of panic.
I would have liked to see in mid there, you could see that he was trying on his original return route, trying to get stand to stand. I would have liked to see him pick an earlier hill, because when he came up and tried to bump off that hill right in front of the stand, he just took a tiny bit of splash, and it popped him over the top of the flag there. I would have loved to see an earlier kind of bounce there from Tasty, but did not end up costing them just yet. And he's on the offense side now trying to get the kill. And wow, the heavy who had that, I didn't quite see who it was, just gets melted. And Tasty on the receiving end of a return. But as so common it can be in tribes, the return also came home on the other side of the map.
Double returns. Yep.
And double walks. So returns both happen and walks both happen. But both flags drop into the field. Return will happen for Knightron, and that one's close enough that I would assume we have a player sitting on it for Abyss. You can see a Knightron or a chaser down there. I think that might have been Songsteal. And Song was.
It's returned.
Tasty coming through the tower here, blinks through, and he's gone. So Tasty again. We've seen him be a couple of times now. Just out clean. Flags in the field for the Knightron group, and he's going to make it to stand just a little bit too early. Again, floating up towards it, and 3-0 now in favor of Knightron.
Wow.
Making a fool out of our predictions.
Yeah, he got the bounce as well on the stand. It was really clean. Really nice capping from Tasty. Really good.
So
really
Abyss,
clean.
Abyss needing to change something up here. 3 caps. This is the fastest we've seen any of the teams get out the gate by far. Only 5 minutes gone by, and Knightron is 2 caps away from putting us at game 5.
I'm surprised, why Song and Sek are not hunting Tasty. We don't see much hunt at all, right? And it's a bit weird. So
yeah, I actually have not seen him get hunted once.
No, he's coming in full HP every single route. So
he got hit by a snipe there from Sek, but it was only 300 damage worth.
Yep.
And he's just always out on this same route. He's going to drop in a mid there. Mikesters sitting in front of him just on his way over to the base naturally. And Song way up in the air. Couldn't quite see it, but Song will fly through it and put the flag back. So I think Sek is still sniping here, and I almost wonder if they should switch back to having that double chain gun.
Yeah.
Just kind of keeping the cap. And you see Mogg out there on that. They have to be just running that same route on the back to front because it's getting them home every time. Let's see if we have anybody closer to the action here. AmmYou moving with the flag on the other side of the map. Return trying to get there, and Song's going to be able to make it happen. So now a chance to put their first onto the board for Abyss. Rince is going to get out with an E towards the back of the base. Loaf snipes that out from under. I couldn't quite see who that was on the Knightron side of things, but the pass goes a little bit over Mikesters here. Tough spot for him to be in. Good play there from Mikesters. A lot of players, you'll see them make the mistake when I tell people to shoot flags into them. They will shoot it directly at them when they're in a situation where there's going to be a lot of crash. You saw Mike shoot that to his side, but still towards him. So he avoided a couple of incoming discs that were landing where the flag was at, avoided some damage, and put his team in a really good spot to continue that hold. So smart heads up play there from Mike. And we will enter looking like a standoff.
Like a standoff, yeah. And the flag is loose on the Knightron side, so like, oh, never mind. It's got picked up by HotRodRe.
Both teams holding.
I think they get the return. Yeah, Knightron get the return. But Trey is out on the E, so
Trey is already out.
Yeah, Trey is out on an E grip.
Not moving super far. Actually, the punt sends it over the top of Mikesters. aLoaf able to pick it up, though, on the Abyss side. So Abyss stabilizing for a moment, but not long enough. And now you got to hit the shot here, and they don't have it. 4-0 now in favor of Knightron.
Wow. Danger zone. We're seeing a reverse rain dance.
We are seeing a reverse rain dance. Knightron absolutely woken up now on the fourth map. Maybe Rince, 4 games, that's enough to kind of start getting into a groove with a mouse. Yeah. So we're maybe seeing the Rince increase, and as we said, maybe the Song decrease. So the later this goes, the better it gets for Knightron. As HotRodRe, not a ton of hours in the game, but as he gets more comfortable and goes on, it's just going to get better. And there it is. The 5th cap just lands on the stand, but gets killed. I think Sek was able to make the stop. Just barely didn't make the return happen, but I think Knightron will still secure this one. So a good play there from Sek to extend it, but you got to start putting points on the board if you're Abyss here. You're running out of time.
Yeah. I'm wondering, like, if you look at the gens, like, the gens are always up for the Knightron side, and I wonder if that's what's making the difference of them being able to get out as clean as the Knightron side. So, very, very interesting how they're not moving the flag as much as I thought they would.
They're not moving it, and we talked about the camping. We just not the camping, the hunting. Return there, nice blink through from Mogg. Let's jump over to see what's going on. I don't think we have anybody over there at the moment, not at least on our stream POVs, but you see Trey coming through. But you mentioned it a couple of times, Matt. They're just, the hunt that we're used to seeing from Song and Sek is not there.
Non-existent, man. They're absolutely just non-existent. So maybe Sek should just honestly just drop the phase and just go back to CG and just do this normal stuff.
And it could even be a map by map thing. It seemed to work great on Rain Dance with phase, but you don't have to play it every map. You can vary up what you're playing as you go through things. We're seeing Mike trying to do a little bit of damage, just kind of sitting in a spot to take a pass, and he's going to pick this one up. Kind of leads him into the jaws of every Knightron O player at the moment, but he avoids just enough damage to try to toss it over the left. Bounces off the side of the hill, does not go into a teammate, and Rince makes the return happen. So we get a replay of that from Tasty's perspective. So now AmmYou trying to get through mid here. He's going to try to touch this off the stand at the moment, clearing some mines off. He takes a little bit of splash, and he is going straight up into the back. So you got a lot of time for the chasers on the Knightron side to get into the area. And you see some chain gun already landing in him, but he's going to get through his first bowl.
Oh, yeah, he gets
and gets a toss. He's going to get at least 1 punt and 2 punts there from AmmYou. 3rd as well. Does he get a 4th? I don't think he does, but AmmYou gets 3 punts, goes all the way over to that front left hill, and Loaf's going to scoop that one from under, I think, Mogg, and he tries to pass it over back towards AmmYou, who makes the catch, but he's going to go down to Rince. Tough spot now for Abyss. This one's floating around in the field. They need to make the kill onto Rince before he just drops into that, and they will. Rince drops, Mogg drops, and now there's just a
Clout's
heavy.
still there. I think Clout's still there.
Clout's close to it, and another light coming in as well, and that one gets
Clout
returned.
gets it. Yeah, Clout gets it.
Nobody, I don't think. Okay, we do have Tasty in the area, so he's looking down kind of over the top, and the kills are coming through there for Knightron. They're able to drop off some of the potential returners. He has no health. He needs to pass that one over to a teammate. He'll make that happen.
I feel like Trey is just always there for an E-grab. Like, literally. I'm not sure whether he's just sitting on the stand and just, like busting it off, or I'm not really sure what he's doing.
He has been moving it.
Yeah.
They're trying. Mike just kind of guarding it, trying to wait for a teammate to pick it up. I probably would like to see him just grab it and toss it towards somebody there.
Yeah.
Won't hurt him at the moment. Kind of a blink forward from Tasty. And he is going to get mid-aired by aLoaf. Long standoff here from these teams.
Yeah.
You know, one of the flags got returned, of course, and we had an instant E-grab. But it kind of just kept the standoff running the whole time. And
They need to get... Oh, okay, they got a return. Well,
and you have AmmYou kind of trying to drop towards this. He's going to be able to make it out the front at the moment. Tries to get the punt off, and the holder will die for Knightron. Pickup's going to come through. Izza's going to hold that one for the time being, but the return, Rince is going to put that one back onto the stand, and Clout caps it through. 5-0, a complete reversal of what we saw on Rain Dance. And we are going to game 5. Everything else is now irrelevant. We have one map to decide the entirety of the match. And what better place? We are rolling on to Katabatic.
that is just insane, man. Like, I really, really, really thought Sick and Strong would just close down that map. Like, especially because, like, that map is just backroot heaven. Like, I really thought they would close it down, but it's just... I'm not really sure, like, what was going on. Like, whether the sniping was getting to their heads, or, like, whether the pressure of them losing the map eventually would get to their heads, or... I'm not really sure what's going on with that, so...
And all the pressure now has completely flipped. You know, after Rain Dance, if you are Knightron, you are in a complete nightmare situation where Abyss has 3 games worth of tries they can make to take this one home. You just got blown out on Rain Dance, didn't even make a cap happen. But now, you know, if you were Abyss, you were riding high, and then, okay, you drop one map. All right, well, we can drop one map. You drop 2 maps, especially in the fashion that Wave Mist just went. And now all of a sudden, man, are we really going to get reverse swept right now?
Yeah.
You know, that is what is in your head. You know, you can try to think of it. You can have good mental, bad mental. It does not matter. That thought is in your head. Are we going to get reverse swept by a team that it looked like we were just going to dominate coming out of map 2?
Yeah.
And they're just jumping right into it. Right in here onto Katabatic. And after what we saw on Wave Mist, I am actually pretty firmly back in the Knightron side of the predictions here. I don't think that Wave Mist and Kata play too differently. Of course, they don't really have that free, massive back route hill. The back route here is kind of actually bad, so there's not as much of that, but it's still a thin map. The bases are kind of a similar spread from each other, and now with 15 minutes left in the 3rd place game, what do you think we're gonna see here?
God, I honestly, I still believe. I'm gonna say Knightron are gonna take it. Like, I feel like they've gotten into the groove. I'm gonna say Knightron take it 4-1.
4-1. All right.
Yep.
I am gonna say that Abyss digs deep on this one. I think they figure it out a little bit. I'm gonna go 4-3 in overtime in favor of Abyss, but not looking good on the first run here. AmmYou is going to get dropped immediately on the stand. Mogg is all the way home. He's way high in the air, and he's just going to be dropping on to stand. There's some players there. We can see some icons, so I want to see if we can get somebody. Everybody's just DJing out towards the base. So nobody there at this exact moment in time. AmmYou coming through, but Izza just sitting behind the stand there. He's just waiting for his time to get on. Tasty sitting on the stand trying to make things happen. And with 60 seconds to go, Knightron puts the first cap up. And if that is any pattern that we've seen over the series, every single map, the first cap has won the game.
Yep. I feel like maybe they found their groove here, honestly, son. Like, I feel like Rince has gotten used to his mouse. HotRod's starting to realize there's people to shoot. So, like, they're on it.
Knightron warming up.
Yep. Yep.
And we'll have to see if Abyss can get things figured out, or if this is going to be a reverse sweep for the gentleman.
But this is what I'm saying against him. Like, Tasty is not being hunted at all. Like, if you see him, he comes in at full HP. Like, that's very unusual. So, like, I really don't know what's going on.
You got to wonder if there's some effect there. Maybe Clout and Trubba have figured out some way to put enough pressure on the stand that they just can't hunt the way they used to.
They can't do it. Yeah, maybe.
Return comes through. You heard Rince there, real excited, and you can hear him pumped up, and that's got to be, morale plus 10 for the Knightron side, and 2 caps now for Knightron, and this is really rough. If you're in the Abyss chat, you just got absolutely blown out. You don't want to get dropped, and actually now there's a little bit of a hunt. There's what we need to see. Songsteal full killing a capper in his own base. Tasty wasn't even able to leave, and here's Song is still here. Songsteal takes Tasty all the way down to 450. Tasty just can't leave his base, and that's what we've been looking for. So Song maybe sitting up in his chair, pounded a bottle of NyQuil, and he's able to at least drop Tasty for the time being. Flag is getting towards the Abyss base, and Abyss with a chance to respond, but it's going to drop into the field, and return happens, and oh no.
Mogg is out.
Mogg is out. And 3-0 in favor of Knightron. Right when we thought Abyss might be getting something going. Tasty's partner, if Tasty can't get out of the base with Songsteal off the stand, it's got to be Mogg, and Mogg made it happen.
Yeah. Abyss just... there's a little bit of hunting now from Songsteal.
Yeah,
that's good.
Finally some hunting, but you gotta wonder if it's too late.
It's too late. Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say that. It's a little too late. I'm not sure.
You can tell they've definitely switched it up. They absolutely have changed what they're doing. And Tasty is feeling it for sure. He's taking the brunt of it, but we've seen Mogg get home at least once, and Mogg grabs again. So if Mogg gets home here...
Yeah.
And we see Trey move the flag there, so at least it will not be an instant cap. But every time it looks like Tasty's getting hunted, there's no damage onto Mogg, and he gets all the way back home.
Yeah, it's very unusual. Like, we used to like Songsteal and Sek both singling out both the cappers. So it looks like it's something changing their game plan, or I'm really not sure what's going on. Very unusual. Very unusual.
Maybe they had been trying out more of a, playing more similar to Unknown, where they played a little closer to the stand.
Close to the stand.
Tried to help the Hoff a little more. Definitely was not working for him. So we did see him switch into the hunt style and sitting a standoff at this point. So better than just an instant cap. See, red flag gets dropped for...
Abyss to get the return.
Things, so the return happens. Let's jump on board with Mike, and Rince is going to be able to take an E-grab at least into mid. So that's going to drop just before mid tower. A lot of players over there, and another one's going to be able to touch it and punt it off, and you can see at least 600 meters, now 700 meters on friendly flag. So that is all the way into the base for Knightron. So they escape Abyss putting a cap up for the moment. Mikesters will toss that one over to Ampjet, and we'll go back into standoff positions.
Yeah, 9 minutes left as well, so I'm wondering whether they're starting to feel like the heat now. Like, they just got to keep up their mental game, and hopefully they'll pull through. But like, the time is ticking down quickly. So
yeah, nine is very doable, but you feel it. You definitely feel it, especially with nothing on the board. With a donut sitting up there, that is tough.
Yep.
You really like if it was one cap that you'd made at least you know you can do it. They see where their turn happened, and Rince is just out. Every time the flag is returned, Rince is instantly out, who is the chaser, like the primary chase for Knightron. So it's not like there's a capper sitting on their stand. It's the guy who should be really looking for the returns. And you wonder if Knightron has identified the fact that they're up 3 and
they can just play for E-grabs.
They can just play to extend the
Camps.
time. They don't need to play to, play to cap the flag at this point. They can just run the timer out.
Yep. I mean, it's a very smart thing if they do that. So.
I've been sitting with Mikesters for a little while. Let's go see how things look as he picks this one up. We'll see if he survives. He does throw it kind of instantly back the direction that it got thrown from. And the return happens. So tough break there for Abyss. You can see on the replay from Tasty's side of things, and now AmmYou coming through front. He's the only hope to make the grab, and he does. So he's still at 1,000 health, but he will not be for long. He's going to bump into the oob. He's going down into a bowl that he will surely not come out of. Rince will make the kill happen onto AmmYou. The flag's going to sit in the corner, looking for the incoming crash. He bought enough time. There's players coming in here, but Mikesters is taking damage. You can hear in the comms, not for long, and it did not sound like a very happy not for long. Flag's still sitting back there, though, so definitely some time for Abyss. Lots of lights coming through, but Rince is just sitting on it in the back.
I feel like they're just burning time. They're just burning time. They're just chilling, taking it easy, relaxing, take it slow. There's no rush for them. Absolutely no rush.
Yeah, the Knightron is fully in control of the pace here. However they want to play the game, they can speed it up, they can slow it down. They have enough of a buffer that it's just going to be so hard. And 4-0.
Yeah.
So hard to see if you're Abyss. aLoaf is trying to make something happen off the end of this, and it's going to drop just past that second turret in mid, but too many Knightron players still there from the standoff, and they'll return that one. 4-0 now in favor of Knightron, who has this one all but locked up.
Wow. Incredible. That's insane, man. From the first couple of maps and now into this. Winning, 3 straight maps in a row?
Yeah, full reverse sweep.
Yeah, one of them also being a 5-0. Now this one looking to be a 5-0 as well. Kind of crazy.
Very convincing here from Knightron. Playing without reddish blue, of course. We talked about that a multitude of times. Trey coming through. But every time, it feels like every time Abyss is close to putting one on the board, there's just an E-grab there for Knightron. A blink coming through, and the return happens. Nightmare now for Abyss. The return happens. The pass gets caught on the other side of the map. AmmYou's pretty much the only person here. He hits one shot, so he does get trubba away from the stand for a little bit. Bounces him again, but nobody else is there.
No.
5-0, a reverse sweep in dominant fashion on the last 2 maps, and Knightron will take 3rd place in the Montgomery Memorial Tribes Tournament.
Wow. Yeah, congratulations to Knightron. I mean, they won 3 straight maps in a row. After the first 2 wins from Abyss, we're like, oh, okay, maybe, they're really feeling the whole reddish blue not being there. Their mental is probably knocked down in the dumps. Rince is in a hurricane, mouse broken. But they pulled it through. They obviously showed they have the mental fortitude. They know how to play the game, and they did it. So yeah, congrats to them. Really good. And congrats to Abyss as well. I know they're a very newly formed team. They obviously showing they very well can be the best. So yeah, GG's all around. Cool.
Very well played from Knightron there. After map 2, we were kind of almost counting them out. After Rain Dance, you get blown out 5-0. You really got to turn things around, and they definitely did that. So we're gonna jump into the Knightron Discord and do a little bit of talking with them and see how they feel about things. Mr. Rincewind, the man with the mouse, as it would seem.
The man with the mouse.
It seems like you guys really figured something out on Torment. What did we see happen, and Was there something that you changed? Did you move somebody to a different position, or did you guys just start clicking?
We are notorious for never warming up. We just show up at match time and just kind of fucking play on the fly. So it took a couple maps to get warmed up for sure. Plus getting used to this mouse that I think I last used this when I played TA. So that's how old this mouse is. And then the adjustment was mostly a standoff thing. We made a quick adjustment just on the loadouts we were running mostly, and that seemed to do it. I started playing a bit better. I think I was in my head a little bit about using a new mouse and getting flustered, and kind of just finally settled in a little bit. That helped me personally too. But yeah, I mean, what a fucking game, right? That was a great game.
Yeah, it was all warm up. That's all it was. We didn't change anything. We just our collective playtime in the past month is like a couple hours, and then we started warming up though, 'cause it was a long enough set at least. If it was a best of 3 or best of 5, then we were fucked. But wait, what was it? Is it best of 5?
It was the best of 5. It was the best of 5.
Best of 3, then we were fucked. But.
Speaking of playtime, I need to give a quick shout out to HotRodRe, who has like 54 hours of Tribes 3 playtime, stepping up and just being an absolute G on defense.
He's a little aimer kid, man. Kovacs, Voltaic, aimer kid, so.
Absolutely.
We were talking about that quite a bit. You guys obviously missing Reddish Blue, who plays a completely different style of defense to HotRodRe. Of course, Reddish, kind of that turret sniper player, likes to sit up on the hills and equip phase rifle, where HotRodRe is really in your face. I'm going to shoot you better than you can shoot me, and you're just going to have to deal with that kind of thing. Did you guys change up any of your strategy pre-game? Did you have any conversations around that, or did you kind of just jump into it?
That was literally the first time HotRodRe has ever played medium defense or a light defense for us. He's never. He usually plays Hoff when Izza's not around, but since we were missing Reddish, we had to move him into that spot. And we didn't want him, you can't replace a Reddish. He's one of one. I mean, the only player with a similar play style is probably Jagel. I mean, those two are the best snipers in the game easily. So there's no replicating that. So we had to, just tell him to play to his strengths, because we knew he was very solid in his own right. Just had to make an adjustment. So maybe some of it was just learning to play off of each other a bit too. But yeah, I mean, other than that, we ran our normal set. Offense didn't change. Defense, really, the philosophy on defense didn't change, other than just that one spot we swapped.
So, Rince, I'm curious, and Trubba. So after you lost the first 2 maps, I think Raindance was an absolute stomp, right? It was a 5-0. What were you guys mental like? Were you like, okay, guys, we can do this? Or were you like, oh shit, you know what? Maybe we should play more T3 this month. What were you guys thinking of?
Was it a 5-0?
It was, yeah.
See, I didn't even know that.
Okay, that's what your mental was at then.
Well, I was merging between games, so I wasn't really dialed in.
Yeah, Trubba and Mogg were literally merging in between the maps.
I'm merging right now. If you guys can boot up, I want to get some 2Xs on your farms, please.
I don't even know what that means.
It's a Discord game.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, it was, I mean, mental on this team has never been an issue. When I recruited this team, it was literally I wanted people who were mentally just a good fit for the team. I wanted people who were cool, just, hey, you might play one night, you might not play another. Just a very relaxed vibe over here. It always has been. So even maps where we've or previous matches where we were disappointed afterwards, nobody ever really gets too down over here. It's a really high acuity mental team, I'll say.
Oh, it's good to hear, man. Good to hear. It's really good.
You guys really opened things up on map 4 and map 5. We saw a couple of hero plays to keep things alive. Trubba, you made a play on stand that actually tripped me up. I thought the cap had happened in the middle of the torment stand, and you made it had to be 1,000th of a second shot there that moved the flag off the stand and ended up being what kept you guys in that. And then you turn around onto Wave Miss and Catabatic, and you just absolutely dominated the. It seemed like on all sides of Abyss, they just couldn't get anything going. Did you have any, we were talking about one thing that we didn't see a lot of from the Abyss side that we're so used to is Song and Sec. We're used to seeing those guys do a ton of hunting and kind of just burn cappers down before they can even reach the stand. Did you and Clout have anything going on offense that made it impossible for them to hunt, or was that a strategy change up on their side?
I think that was mostly on them. Like, it was annoying because it was like 3 people on stand most of the time, and it was like really annoying to go in against. But yeah, I mean, when we've played them in the past, they've tried to like double hunt and ignore their Hoff, and it did not work at all against us. Like, so I'm assuming that they saw that, and then they decided going into this game that they changed their prep a bit, because that's something that they've even talked to us about. They're like, man, like Ampjet was like, man, I'm like just getting crushed on stand, and I'm all by myself, and like, what am I supposed to do? Like, do you have any tips? And I'm like, dude, I don't. If you're just there, like, you're just there to die at that point. So it looks like they kind of took note of that and switched it up, and I think it was working really well. Like, it was a lot harder to clear, but eventually we got back into the swing of things anyway.
Yeah. I think it worked especially well for them on Rain Dances, because that map is primarily like a heavy sniper map, and obviously you guys didn't have Reddish as well, so it may have been a difference, but
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we saw Tasty coming in like 100 HP, like pretty much all of his routes. So like, it's because like in the past, like when we played against Song and Sec, they've been notorious for like double hunting me and Nerve. So it's very interesting to see they switched up. Yeah.
On the coming in at 100 HP thing, there's something very unique about T3, and where you can still totally get home with just a sliver of health in this game. If just like if you just break LOS at the right time, like you're golden. And even then, it doesn't matter because the punts are so strong. So like, that's a mistake I made a lot early on, was like I would intentionally leave cappers like 1 HP just to like, oh, this guy should K out, I'm gonna leave him alive, and then he'd still get home 1 HP. I'm like, well, that was really stupid. So that, I mean, it's just a really weird game in that regard. And then I just want to say 2 quick shout outs. I wanted to shout out Abyss for being great scrim partners. The last couple months we've scrimmed a lot against each other, probably the team we've played the most. And I just think it's impressive how far those dudes have come from like where they started. Just a really like impressive team from top to bottom.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They've improved a lot. I want to ask you one final thing about Katabatic, Rince. It seemed like once you guys had particularly 3 caps up onto the board, we saw you out on an E-grab at least 3 times with it almost seemed like you were just positioning for it at that point. Had you guys identified into Katabatic, that, hey, we're up at this point, we can just play to extend the game, or did you just happen to be in the right place at the right time?
It was a call I made. When we got up those last couple maps, I definitely was trying to stay on to people a little bit, just about being like, let's not rush anything and let's just play a little passively. But that's really about all. That wasn't like a verbal adjustment or a conscious. I mean, it was a conscious adjustment on my end to do that. I was basically playing the standoffs in those situations that I would sit kind of on that first back hill behind the base and watch to see if if my presence was going to be make or break on the return, and if it wasn't, just kind of staying there for the E. So just kind of watching for like where I need to be. So yeah, I mean, it was, I guess, a conscious decision on my part.
Smart, man. Very smart.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, that is the last match of MMTL. That's the end of the first kind of bring your own team tournament that we've seen in Tribes 3. Of course, we have the ladder going. So what is next for you guys? Are you keeping the exact same roster and just moving on to the ladder and doing your no warm-up strategy? Is that where you guys are headed?
We did play 20 minutes of pubs before, okay?
Yeah, we saw Rince streaming his pub a little bit there. That was on the main screen for a
I was
little while.
seeing the stream to see if it worked, and my ping was too jittery. Sorry, you couldn't get a POV. I did clip everything I thought clip worthy, so I'll make sure to post that. But yeah, and as far as ladder goes, we plan on playing ladder. Who knows how active we'll be on it? We'll probably just like challenge somebody every once in a while. I don't know if like we're not going to be playing every week, but just when the boys feel like it mostly. And if another league comes along, we'll see how everybody's feeling at that. But ladder is fairly non-committal, so I don't see any reason. Nobody said they want to quit the game, so that's good. So we'll stick around while the getting's good.
That's good to hear. Well, we'll look forward to some of your matches on the ladder. Is there anything that you guys want to take us out with? Any shout outs? Any more comments that you have?
I'll just say the whole team played really good. I think the difference was we really started feeding off each other those last couple maps. I think I saw literally every one of us that were on standoff O, like every one of us got a return at a different point. It wasn't just one player getting return after return. So I couldn't see the D side of things on the standoffs, but the comms certainly indicated they were holding well. Everybody just did their jobs, and we came out with the win. And just want to say a quick shout out to you two as the casters and whoever else may have been there, and to Jim for organizing the league this year. And yeah, that's it. Then Trubba, if you got anything.
Yeah. I mean, shout outs to Abyss. Those guys are monsters, and man, they've came up in a big way. Shout outs to the team, of course, especially HotRodRe, who came up, like, doesn't even want to play the game, but he does it just for us when we need a fill. So huge shout out to him. Otherwise, we literally wouldn't have had 7 players that could have made it today. So shout out to that. Shout out to Jim, of course. Shout out to Monty. Rest in peace.
Good,
shout
Monty.
out to you guys. Yeah.
RIP my super light.
RIP your super light.
RIP the super light. Yep.
Well, it's a great way to close things out. Thank you guys for bringing us a banger of a final match. The first match to even go past 3 games, our only match out of MMTL that was not a sweep. So we appreciate you guys putting on a show tonight. And that will be the entire conclusion of the Montgomery Memorial Tribes League. Thank you all for joining us along the way. And this will do it. We will not see you next time. So anything moving on will be ladder matches or tournaments in the future. So we appreciate you all jumping in and watching us, and have a great night.
It's the blackout. Rory got the back.
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn all of the lights on over every boy and every girl. Closing time. One last call for alcohol, so finish your whiskey or beer. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I know who I want to take me home. I know